Hey, welcome back to iPadFest. The day's just it's going great. We've already had a couple of presenters. We went over ChatterPix, Google Photos, and a website called Drop It To Me. And now I have Bethann Rogers, all the way from White County, just kind of down the street, really.
Yes.
I'm glad to have her, and she's a kindergarten teacher at Mossy Creek Elementary. And she's got something great to show us. Why don't you tell everybody what you're doing?
In kindergarten, one of our standards is for our students to research and write about it, which is hard for kindergartners. But we found a website that really helps with this. It's called Pebble Go, and it is something that costs money for your system. But our school bought into this, and it was a great thing. Basically, I made it an app on my screen by going to Pebble Go. And if you go to Safari, let's go to Safari so I can show you how to do this if you wanted to make a website, an app. Let's say Google.
Well, this is a great idea, especially for kindergartners, so they're not having to type things in Safari.
So you go over here, and there's a button, an addition sign. Whoop. Actually.
Yeah.
There it goes. Okay, so you say add to home screen. It'll ask you what you want your picture to be, and then you add, and it pops up on your home screen. This is great for kindergartners because they cannot type in the web address. So I did that for Pebble Go, and I'm just going to log in so you can see what it's like. And we do animal research, but you can do a lot of different things with Pebble Go. One of my coworkers introduced this to us, and she created a document that tells all the different information on Pebble Go that you can use in your classroom, and it's almost 20 pages long of the different topics you can use. We do animals, and they can pick an animal that they want to research. And the great thing about this is it reads it to them. You can press the sound button, and it reads the information.
More
to the
than
students. They can take that
24,000
information and
types
create
of
circle
fish
maps
live
or
on
a
Earth.
poster, something to present to
Stingrays,
the class.
sharks, and
We
goldfish.
also use ChatterPix, which was talked about earlier, and they take a picture of their animal and they draw a line, and they can actually tell facts about their animal through that app. Another thing I use is Epic. It's another app. This is free to teachers. This is a great app, especially for listening to reading if you're doing Daily 5. But it also has some nonfiction books where you can research animals. So if you go to Epic, it's a free app for educators. You create your account. And for kindergarten, what I love about this is it does read it to them too. You can select that option. Loading.
All right, and Bethann, what standard were you using when you were talking about you're using the animals in Go Pebble?
It's a shared one of the standards says they have to participate in shared research, and then they have to write about that animal or that topic that they're researching.
So that's science? Is that one of your science standards?
In writing.
In
Writing standard, yes.
Okay. And what you're seeing here is just real life. You know, we're trying to open an app, and this is going to happen in your classroom many times.
So once you get into the app, it has over 10,000 books, like I said, and there's a lot of nonfiction books about animals.
That's why it's taking so long. There's 10,000 books.
It's a lot. You go to browse. So here are all the different books.
Wow.
Here's all the animals.
This is free?
And nonfiction. Yes, this is free for educators. And then you can select Read to Me.
Wow, that's good.
Yes. And you can open it up. They can pick a book if they want to talk about snakes. And they can press play.
Who doesn't want to talk about snakes? They love snakes.
Yes, they love it. And so it reads everything to them, the table of contents and everything. So they love that app. The classroom management app I use during this is called Too Noisy Pro. This app is a noise meter. As you can see, it's right here on my.
Oh, this is fun.
Yes. They love this.
And is there a light version and a pro version? Looks
Yes,
like?
there is.
Okay.
There's a pro version, and it does cost money, but there's a free version too. The only reason I did the pro is because it allows them to earn stars. And once my students get 10 stars, like during centers, if they're quiet for the whole entire time, they get a star for every like 3 minutes they're quiet and the noise meter doesn't go off. So once they earn 10 stars, I have a Mr. Potato Head piece.
Oh, tell me.
And they add a Mr. Potato Head piece to the Mr. Potato Head. And once the Mr. Potato Head is full, we get free ice cream.
Yeah.
So they really
That's
love
great.
that. That's a great app that I love to use during centers.
So during centers, they can still talk. It's just let's keep it at a
Yes.
decent volume. Can we test it out?
Yes.
All
So
right.
if you get too loud,
You're way too loud.
it breaks.
Okay.
It tells them they're being too loud. But once it gets to 10 stars, it goes off and says, you've earned your 10 stars.
Wow, I like that.
And so they know it makes like this fun noise. And then they get to go add a Mr. Potato Head piece.
You think I should use this with adults when I do training,
Yes,
professional development?
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
They just get too rowdy sometimes.
Mhm.
Now, the pro version, what kind of investment are we talking about for
$2.
$2?
Yeah.
Man, that sounds
So
like a
it's the
great deal.
Too
That's a really,
Noisy Pro.
that's good.
Yes, I love it. And you can change, like I changed the background to things that's going on. You can select how sensitive you want it to be. You can select a background theme. So during Halloween, we had this one. And they love it. And you can select a different dial. So that's fun too.
Mhm.
And then, and of course you can set, the Star Awards, you can set how many minutes they have to go without getting in the red section to receive a star. So it's great. It's great fun.
I like that.
And that's it.
All right, so if you're tuning in, you just met Bethann Rogers from Jack P. Nick's, or not, excuse me, Mossy Creek. She straight up told me.
Yes.
Don't get
Mossy
that.
Creek.
Mossy Creek here in White County. And she showed us a few apps. And what we usually do during this time, after presenters show some apps, we give some time for our other presenters in the room to actually play around with this. So could you repeat the apps that you were looking at
Yes,
again, or
we
the
had-
websites?
We had Pebble Go, which I created an app for on my screen, which is a research website.
Mhm.
You do have to pay for that one, but it's a great thing for a system to get. Epic, free for educators. Epic
Lots
is
of books.
great, over 10,000 children's books, and there's a lot of nonfiction books they could use for research. Then the other app was ChatterKid. You could tie that in with animal research, and they talked about that earlier. And then the Noisy app. I do that during my research time or when the kids are working on their iPads because it keeps the noise level down.
That's right.
So.
Bethann, before you go and kind of help some other folks here learn how to use some of these apps, how do you best manage a group of iPads for kindergartners? How do you do it?
It's hard. It really takes routine and procedures and, telling them the rules. They have to stay seated. I do have a center that's listening for reading. And it took a while for them to get used to how to handle the iPads and that they don't stand up with their headphones on and run. It's just going over those procedures. Another thing, when we do the research for the first time, I usually put them in a small group with my parapro or myself to kind of teach them, how to use the iPad, how to research animals on the iPad, and that way I can make sure to kind of monitor them so they can understand it, and then I kind of let them do it by themselves.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I wanted to hear how some of our K-5 teachers were not just using apps in the classroom, how they manage it and do it well. So you get to learn from some of the best here. So if you would like to tweet to Bethann, you can. Her Twitter handle has been on the screen a few times. Also, you can hashtag iPadFest or PadFest, either one. We had some confusion there setting up the account, but it's not a big deal at all because we're having a grand time here. So we're going to get the camera, we're going to switch it out and kind of let you see what's going on in our room. And we'll come back with me kind of giving a closer to this activity with Bethann, and then we'll take another break. So just stay tuned. Lots more coming.